dog. At the trebuchet competition, all the things they end up flinging that I can't be chasing. My heart is racing, still there's no place I'd rather be.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. I'm Doc Rivers, back here in the Classic Factory. No, I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Melas.
Podcast listeners, I hope you like this one. This is for you.
Also in the mix, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy. His voice might be as bad as mine. Trey Kerby.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Wow.
And making the magic happen over yonder, super producer JD.
Hello.
Yes.
Bass drop.
As you can hear, got some gravelly voices in studio. Apologies for that. That's what happens when you scream sing for about 6 hours on the dance floor.
What was that guy's name? Eric the Tutor?
Eric the Tutor was the
Tutor.
DJ. Congratulations to Matteo and Jill on their big wedding over the weekend. We were up in Montreal. You know, not only just singing on the dance floor, just a lot of talking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of screaming.
So we had a blast, of
It was
course.
nice.
But
Very,
we are
very,
back
very
here
nice.
again. Congrats to the Lovebirds. We got some great basketball games to talk about. I mean, we came back yesterday, and then two bangers. Just some shocking results, really. So let's get into them a little bit later. We'll do a Wolves-Warriors preview, and also talk a little bit about the Pacers beating the Cavs in Game 1 and who or who's not playing in Game 2 tonight for Cleveland. But man, I guess we start with Aaron Gordon splashing a game-winning three-pointer with about 3 seconds to go as the Nuggets stunned the top-seeded Thunder. 121-119. Denver closes on a 19-6 run after trailing by 11 with under 5 minutes to play.
I thought the third quarter was very important, where they were down double digits and they just wouldn't die. Did it matter that they played 48 hours before? No. Did it matter that OKC has more depth? No. The way they finished that third quarter with offensive board after offensive board after offensive board. They had 9 offensive boards in the third quarter, and they ended that third quarter on a 17-8 run. I think that really just kept them in, because it could have been a situation where you let go of the rope, but not those guys. Jokic started. He missed one, then grabbed it, the offensive rebound, put it in, and won. Aaron Gordon, very smooth move on that free throw of Jokic, walking away from the free throw, looking like he's going back. Then he does a spin to go grab the offensive rebound. Was it a planned miss? We'll never know. No, it wasn't a planned miss. But also Christian Brown getting after it, grabbing one, putting it back, able to jump over Alex Caruso and Isaiah Joe. Able to be a little bit more athletic. The OKC bigs had to sit with foul trouble because Jokic got to them. And then when it came down to the end, as we get to Aaron Gordon's shot, OKC's number 2 and number 3, if you want to call them that, Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, just didn't come through in the last couple of minutes. Chet Holmgren couldn't grab an offensive board to slip through his hands. Aaron Gordon was able to grab it and go to the floor, go get a timeout. Also, in that run there in the last couple of minutes, Jalen Williams drive with 45 seconds left. I'm not sure what he was planning on. He kind of just drove, was kind of looking for a foul, then had to chuck it up, missed it, and then Chet Holmgren's 2 missed free throws with 9 seconds left. Very key, right before the game winner. So I just look at all that fight of the big guys. And Jokic had 5 offensive boards, Aaron Gordon had 7, and Christian Brown had 4. I thought that was really key to keep it close. They just wouldn't die.
Every time OKC pushed that lead back to double digits, the Nuggets responded somehow. And it was either like a big 3 from Gordon or Brown, or like just getting to the free throw line, or a lot of the time it was Jokic bully ball.
Yes, it was.
Because I mean, in the fourth quarter, that guy was just nuts. And he just kept them in the game, and then maybe got helped out a little bit by a decision from Coach Daigneault and OKC to play the foul up 3 game. We don't mind the game plan. It works a lot of times, but maybe way too early in doing it and just fast. Not letting enough time come off the clock. It was just perplexing. In addition to, of course, Jokic was off the floor when they did it, all that as well. But what are your takeaways here, TK?
I think you guys nailed it. Denver never panicked. You could tell that this is the more experienced team between the two that are playing, though it's not like OKC is a brand new team. This is their second go through, but we've seen Denver do it before, and they've got so many good clutch options. Jokic finished second in clutch player of the year. We've seen him make playoff game winners. Jamal Murray was Mr. Game Winner, especially against the Lakers last year. He had 2 in the first series. Now you got 2 from Aaron Gordon in, they've played 8 playoff games so far. Pretty impressive stuff. But OKC's still up 9 points with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Shea's having a good game. Like, you could be thinking OKC's going to take this to win, but they run a 2-man game with Murray and Jokic, as always. Thunder are trying some funky stuff. It ends up being SGA guarding Jokic. Just walks him down, draws a foul. No big deal. 2 minutes left. Same thing. It ends up being Caruso, the guy who ends up on Jokic. Better matchup for the Thunder, for sure. Caruso was awesome yesterday. Instead, Jokic just meanders down the lane, hits him with a hook. Then 1 minute, 15 seconds left. Pick and roll. No switch this time. It ends up being Hartenstein guarding Jokic out on the 3-point line. Fakes 18,000 times.
A million
and then just
steps.
drops the 3 over his head. It was great stuff. It left me with a big-time appreciation for Ivica Zubac. Jokic topped out at 36 and 21 against the Clippers, averaged 24, 11, and 10. And then in game 1 against OKC, 42, 22. That's a lot of roast beef. Don't even have to do a voice for it right now. And then 6 assists. You just saw how light in the jeans Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein were. They both got into foul trouble. They both had basically a half to try and stop Jokic, and neither of them could do it, and Jokic knew he had the advantage. 29 field goal attempts, that's a ton of shots. Certainly the Thunder were trying to make him a scorer, but he wasn't just settling for 3-pointers. He took 6 of them, and like I said earlier, anytime he saw the matchup of there's a little guy on me, I am going to the hoop, going to draw free throws or score easily inside, not to mention all of the offensive rebounding. You could tell he was the biggest dude out there.
Yeah, and pretty impressive that he did the final 18 minutes of this game in foul trouble. Like Jokic did, so that was an issue, but of course you just had to continue to go through him, but didn't foul out of this game. What do you think of the decision of OKC with the fouling up 3? And when they did it, how they did it, and how many times they did it?
It felt soon. It felt early.
Yeah.
That's my biggest takeaway from it. Why not wait a little bit more? That's all.
Yeah.
It was too fast. First time they did it was 3. They were up 3, fouled with 12.9 seconds left. That's Jokic hitting 2 free throws. The Thunder run the perfect inbounds, out-of-bounds play, sideline out-of-bounds, easy layup for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They get the ball in right away again. The foul, boop, 10.7 seconds.
Instantly.
Jokic is sitting on the bench. Yeah. He would have not been able to come back in. It's not like he ended up winning him this game in the last 10 seconds, but come on. You're taking your chances with him sitting on the other side. Then, of course, Chet misses his free throws. And then, honestly, the 3-pointer Aaron Gordon got, way too easy. That looked like a possession from the second quarter of a game. How they were able to get the ball up court. Maybe they weren't expecting him to shoot a 3 in that scenario, but certainly Daigneault botched it a little bit. He should have said, we're not fouling under 10 or over 10 seconds. Let him bring the ball up a little bit and then foul.
Yeah, you're fouling 90 feet away from their rim with his back turn. It's like they got to let him dribble around a couple seconds, then put the pressure on, try for the steal. You don't get it. Obviously, then you've done the foul and you go from there. But it was you said a couple seconds. In both of these instances came off the clock.
Yeah.
You're just doing it too early.
Yeah.
So maybe the right idea, and he said, we do this. This is our thing. We're confident in it. We got great free throw shooters. Obviously, Chet misses 2, and that's huge. Different outcome if he hits maybe even 1. But yeah, just the way they did it was just poor execution.
Yeah, and also just a strange challenge with 4.5 minutes left. I still don't understand that call. Where they challenged Jokic getting hit by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander after a defensive rebound and just trying to pass the ball. And then Jokic secured the ball and then turned it over afterwards. So it's just weird that Shai ran up to Daigneault and said, don't challenge it. Don't challenge it. He challenges it. And it's just a weird call in that, yes, he got smacked, but he did secure the ball and then threw it away. So, yeah, last few minutes, kind of strange. The space that Aaron Gordon had on that shot, though, also extremely confusing. They're just too good. They're too good to allow that much space for a guy to shoot a shot like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, they maybe
Westbrook
thought...
is out there, but he's probably the number 2 guy you want taking a 3 in that scenario, though apparently Aaron Gordon now lives in a gym. I didn't know this. I saw it on ESPN this morning. Maybe summer of 2023, he moved into a warehouse, turned it into a gym that is also his house. So when he wakes up, he just goes and shoots. And now he's a 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, it's worked.
Sounds like every NBA player should do that. Live in a gym, literally, and you'll be a good 3-point shooter. But still, the look was way too easy. Chet was rattled. There's no other way around it. He got completely punked by Jokic for the majority of the game. He missed 2 free throws, and then he got a jumper hit in his face. This was a bad game for Chet Holmgren.
Oh, yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Maybe they also thought there's no way Westbrook passes this.
Also true.
This guy in transition against his old team in his old barn, he's taking it. He's either pulling up for a three or he's going to try and attack the rim. Maybe he misses another layup. But no, I mean, what a brilliant pass. Obviously right in rhythm for AG to knock it down. And like another game winner from this guy, you already said it. Like obviously that one, which maybe saved that series against the Clips. That would have gone to overtime, so who knows what happens. But, I mean, a huge, huge win to tie that series 2-2. They win in 7. Now he's done it again here. And the winner of Game 1s in a best-of-7 series historically go on to win 77% of the time. I'm not saying that's going to happen here. Feels like it'll be a long series. You're going to have to figure out how to stop Jokic. Because I like that he is like, oh, I just have to be a monster. If we're going to win this series, I've got to be a monster. And he's going to take a lot of shots. And he's obviously going to do the bully ball. But Aaron Gordon, 22-14, man. This guy... I guess, yeah, living in a gym is the way to go. You might have to try it.
Yeah, In-Town Stars went bankrupt recently. A bunch of guys from basketball wanted to buy it and turn it into a basketball gym, but I'm actually just going to move in.
Yeah.
Live in 15,000 square feet.
Are you concerned here if you're OKC? Well, obviously dropping Game 1 here. In a game where the Nuggets, let's point this out, they shoot 29% from 3. Like, not good. They turn the ball over something like 18 times, led to a lot of OKC easy points, 23, I believe. Michael Porter Jr., nothing really from him. And they still won. They still pull this out. I mean, is that a reason for concern if you're OKC?
The whole, hey, this team is so young, they got to do it in the playoffs thing, proved true in this game. I know they have been there last year and the year before that, but now that there are some serious expectations going 68-14, I think it does make you worry a little bit. Chet Holmgren just didn't have a good game, didn't close very well, while the other team showed that even with Michael Porter Jr. not even running after a basketball when it's passed to the midcourt line, he goes over and back. Like, he had a terrible game, and somehow they overcome that despite not having a ton of depth. Peyton Watson was fine off the bench to go along with Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, but they really had to play their guys
It's like 6 guys.
It is, yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
6.5.
But you meant like Chet didn't come through, and Isaiah Joe went 0 so they had to sit him. So Daigneault's playing things, but they didn't come through. They really didn't. And I mentioned Jalen Williams' missed shot. I mean, we're not talking about him going 5 of 20, 2 of 9 in this game. That's super important. I mean, you just have to come through. So you got this arena, you have expectations. That other team didn't die. That's it. So I expect a long series, though. Either way, it can go.
There's a lot of stuff to clean up for OKC. They can't give up 21 offensive rebounds. That's like step 1 in the how to beat Oklahoma City playbook is kill them on the glass. Obviously, the Nuggets were able to do that. OKC outshot them from 3. That's like step number 2. You got to outshoot the Thunder, but 27 free throws for Denver, only 20 for OKC. So that kind of mitigated the damage that the Thunder were doing from the 3-point line. And then they got to have their second and third guys do anything. 5 of 20 from Jalen Williams. He went 2 of 13 in the second half. And the thing that should concern the Thunder is that Denver doesn't respect his jumper at all. They were playing off him totally. Went 2 of 9 from 3, didn't make a mid-range jumper. He wasn't trusting it, so he's playing in a crowd at the rim. Got a shot blocked by Jokic once, got a shot blocked by Peyton Watson once, missed several times at the rim. He just wasn't able to take advantage of being the big size guy because he's going up against Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's bigger and stronger than Jalen Williams is. So they got to figure out a way for Chet to do something. They got to get Jalen Williams going a little bit because if you get a performance like you got from Shea, you should probably win that one at home considering you're up 10 with like 3 minutes left. That should be a win, but the depth guys really didn't come through either. Caruso was incredible in this game. 20 points, 6 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks. At the start of the third quarter, he had a steal, went for the layup. Ian Eagle yells, cookies! And milk.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by the addition of milk.
Yeah,
Is it because he's a white gentleman? Or because it was a boring layup that he shot? I don't know what it was, but they need something from him. And then you look at the deeper depth guys, Wallace, Wiggins, Joe, Jalen Williams, the other one. He made a 3, but the other guys were like basically invisible.
Yeah.
This is why I always say depth doesn't actually matter in the playoffs. Both teams got performances from their top 6 guys, and that's it.
And as the game went on, I think, with the way like SGA sort of doing the heavy lifting, you started noticing it was like they just started pinching in at the corners. The Nuggets defense did take away as much as possible space from SGA, and like anybody else beat us. And I'm going with what you're saying there, TK. It's like we don't really trust that J-Dub's going to do this, or even Chet, at least in this game. And they're going to have to. One of those guys in these games is going to have to come through, and they probably will. But it is a little reminiscent of a poor J-Dub series last year, when they went out in the second round. He was not good in that series. He was a little MIA. Maybe missing a person on a milk carton, to bring it back to that. So I guess chocolate milk maybe. But those guys have to be much, much better here. And I think they will. I do.
Yeah, you think their leader coming off the bench, like Alex Caruso, won a championship, would rub off on those guys because he was fantastic, ridiculously fantastic. So hopefully it trickles down. But there's just too many things to clean up. The offensive rebounds led to 27 second chance points for the Nuggets. That's a freaking lot. And then on your side, if you're OKC, you missed a lot of freaking free throws. I mean, they didn't shoot incredibly poorly.
They missed 8, I guess, in the end. Yeah.
That's not just...
I can think of 2 they would like to have specifically.
Yeah.
I know that's sort of his free throw motion, but Chet Holmgren waits. There's that giant pause where you're like, did somebody unplug his controller? Do you know what I'm talking about? He just it just stops, or is you're like, okay, man, shoot it. Missing both of those. He's a pretty good free throw shooter for a big guy for sure. So that was pretty shocking. But Jokic, man. Only the 4th player in NBA history to record the 40, 20, and 5 stat line. It's Wilt Chamberlain, it's Shaq, it's Giannis, and now it's Jokic. George McInnes also did it. ABA days.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But anyway,
thank you.
Awesome.
Good to know. Good to know that.
Yes, of course. Anything else from this one?
I thought Denver dominated in transition. It looked like they were playing fast break basketball all night long. In reality, it turns out OKC won the fast break points, 27-24, but I still think 24 is too many for Denver from OKC's perspective. Make them settle down and play against your set defense. That was a huge thing that tilted the Nuggets' way, I thought. And then Aaron Gordon had that dunk through Chet Holmgren. Oh. That was awesome. I had to watch that several times to be like, was it a thrunk? Kind of.
Yeah,
the ball leaves his hands for a second, but very powerful.
And then finally, how about the clip they showed on the broadcast? Jokic screaming at the boys and obviously coaching them. It appeared to saw some things, wanted them to implement, and was trying to we're still in this, let's go. So that clip making the rounds, it sort of just illustrates what we were joking about when Malone got fired, and it was wow, okay, maybe he just is the coach. David Adelman's there, he's calling plays, I get it, but still, it's he is fired up.
This is a new level Jokic.
It is.
We've never seen
that type
before.
of leadership. I agree.
Yeah, he is their Bruce Brown. They need somebody. Yeah, he's taking it to another level. I know Ian Eagle said during the broadcast that may have been overplayed after the last series, that Jokic is the vocal guy, but when he speaks once,
then we get that clip.
You just need it once. You just need your Tim Duncan to yell once. And that's important.
Carries a lot of weight.
Everyone looked pretty damn attentive to me when he was.
Bro, DeAndre Jordan was locked in, eyes wide open. Yeah. He didn't even play. He's like, I gotta hear this. This is good.
He's seeing something out there. So really, really exciting game. It felt like a million times like OKC was going to put it to bed, and like you said, Denver just would not let go of the rope. And now things get interesting in a lot of these series, right? So far, the road team winning all 3 game ones, and maybe make it 4 here tonight if the Warriors can win in Minnesota.
Love it when a series starts in game 1, huh?
Oh, yes, I do.
Sometimes you got to wait till game 3.
I know. Not now.
Not now.
Not with these ones.
Yep.
Let's talk about the Knicks. Sort of doing something similar, if we're being honest. They come back from 20 down. They beat the Celtics 108-105. They had to play 5 extra minutes. A little free basketball last night. So they win in overtime, and they take game 1 and task the big takeaway from this is how many threes the Celtics took in this game. 60 3-point attempts. 45 of them they missed. So 15 of 60 from deep. And that third quarter, the one everybody pointing out, 19 of their 20 shots was a 3.
That was unbelievable.
So a whole bunch as the game went on, and they just went ice cold for a good stretch of it. And man, the Knicks, just like Denver really in a way, just would not let go of the rope. And continued to we have time, we can get back in this game, and made some big plays. But
they did. Yeah. They did. I had to go back and watch those third quarter minutes, wondering what happened to the Celtics shooting. But really, they shot fine. They shot sort of league average in the third quarter. They hit 7 of their threes, so almost half their threes they made were in that one quarter. They shot 7 of 19. But
Wait, that's bad.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, the fourth quarter was even worse.
Yes.
That Jason Tatum going 0 for in that quarter, and I thought, you've got last couple minutes. You've got Brunson on you twice. And then you have Al Horford on you. You literally could find an easier part of the floor to go to and shoot a shot.
Mitchell Robinson, you mean?
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yes, Mitchell,
Yes.
right. Not Al. Mm-hmm. They play for the same team. Yes, for sure. I thought the Knicks, literally, we all thought, watching the Boston Celtics up 20 in the third quarter, okay, here it comes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is basically it. But Josh Hart wouldn't let his team die. Absolutely not. He did so many things in the third quarter and the fourth quarter where he played every single minute. Of course he does. Down 20, it looked like here come the Celtics barrage of shots, but Josh Hart hit a three. Then he stole ball in the passing lane, jumping in there. Then he stole a ball from Peyton Pritchard, who was on his back. He just said, give me that frickin' thing. Then he got a rebound, led to OG fast break score. In the fourth quarter, he set up Towns for a basket with an offensive board tip that I don't think is really given to Josh Hart in the box score, but he just did so much, especially after what you saw in the first half. Like the Knicks made a bunch of mistakes over and over. I mean, Josh Hart, one of them, trying to pass it to Karl-Anthony Towns, or Karl-Anthony Towns not shooting the ball at the end of the first quarter. There's just so many plays, but still, they still fought. That was the winning thing for me, to get them to overtime, where there's so many good plays from the Knicks, obviously. Your Brunsons, your Bridges, your Steals. And Bridges was just awesome, playing 51 minutes and still coming through with the key steal, where it's so cool to see him just run directly to Jaylen Brown, back to the whole thing, back to the ball, and still able to just snatch it from him.
Give me that.
So, yeah, awesome.
How many 3-point attempts is too many 3-point attempts is what everybody's wondering here. Like, it was a little insane. Jaylen Brown after the game said, in those spots where they have momentum, we can't just fire up threes.
Totally.
I felt like we just settled in the second half a lot. And that's, I think, a part of it, like being up 20 and holding on to a big lead for a majority of the game. And it's like, one more 2 threes, this game's over. But they went ice cold there for the stretch, and then allowed, obviously, the Knicks get back into it.
It felt like the Celtics were trying to put me to bed in the third quarter. They're like, we got a 20-point lead, and we're going to keep bombing away to hopefully get up 30 and end this game so I can go to sleep and get my voice back. But turns out it was the 2022-23 Celtics all over again. This felt like a game they used to lose all the time, where they get up big and then they just can't stop shooting threes. It was 72-52 with 6:20 left in the third quarter. So basically 23 minutes remaining. 29 of the next 40 shots for Boston were 3-pointers. It felt like a pickup basketball game. You're playing to 11. You've got 9. Nobody will take a 1.
Yeah.
It's impossible. We're only taking 2s.
I know.
Everybody wants the walk-off shot, and that's kind of what it felt like. I'm totally with you. Tatum needs to be much better attacking mismatches. He can be a bit of a Derek Zoolander. He's only got one move. He's going blue steel all the time. It's the step-back 3 every single time. He did have another move back in the day. It was the fadeaway from the mid-range, and people hated that as well. But we got to see Magnum when you've got Jalen Brunson on you, when you've got Mitchell Robinson.
That one
get to the rim
was rough.
and draw a foul.
Yeah.
He did it a lot against the Magic in Game 5. I remember, like, Tatum basically shut the door. He was like, 35, 36, 37 the last 3 games, getting to the hoop, getting inside. But he obviously just didn't have it. And a little bit of, I think, credit to the Knicks defense. In the first 30 minutes of the game, they allowed 20 free throw attempts, forced 7 turnovers. Not great. Last 23 minutes, forced 6 turnovers, only put the Celtics on the line 6 times. That was humongous. And Brunson actually had a buddy. He was awesome in the fourth quarter and overtime. Scored 18 points, couple assists, couple of turnovers, but OG Anunoby 21 in the second half, basically 4 of 6 for 3, and I didn't think any of them were going in until the corner one. His release doesn't inspire a lot of confidence because he shoots it, and then he like chases it a little bit inside. You're like, oh, that doesn't look like it's going to go in, but he was making them. He was incredible. Bridges made plays. Hart made plays. Basically, outside of Towns, who did some decent stuff, I thought, later in the game, made a nice play here and there. They got performances from everybody, so that's a huge win for the Knicks to be down 20. A frustrating Towns game. Brunson missed an easy game winner at the end of regulation. Probably didn't expect to be that open, and to still win it in overtime, that's awesome.
Yeah. And now we wait to see what will Porzingis be back for game 2 here too, because him leaving this game had an impact on it. I mean, it allowed like Karl-Anthony Towns to have a little bit of a breathing room. Not that Porzingis was playing well. Like, they were trying to get the ball to him, and it was always ending in like a turnover or like a missed shot. I mean, he had this illness. He doesn't play in the second half. I think their shot diet looks a little bit better if he is out there. Maybe it's not 60 3-point attempts, a little bit more inside, or a little mid-range game from him, but we'll see. I've been saying it forever. They need Porzingis to win a title to go back-to-back, I think, so I'm sure he'll be better for game 2, but it is crazy. I thought this one was a wrap. It felt like it was 6 minutes. It's like 30. You're like, oh, this one's going to be over. Maybe we even get the classic, like, cut it to 6, and then the team sort of like closes the door. But man, just big shots from these guys, especially Brunson. Those 2 threes were awesome.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to finish it at the end of regulation because I loved what Thibodeau called. They called a dummy play because they knew the Celtics were intentionally fouling, so they just changed it up. Oh, here comes Bridges into Josh Hart. Then after the intentional foul, you get the give and go with Jalen Brunson inbounding the cat. A beauty look. How could that miss?
He was so shocked it didn't go in.
Yeah, he was. He
was like
angry.
dumbfounded. You're like, how did that not go in?
Yeah, so he was super mad. I think that the problem with the Celtics shooting the threes is that they kind of just stopped defensively a little bit. You see OG Anunoby outrun the team, frankly, too many times in the second half. Those cherry pick baskets running on fast breaks, that just shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be backdoored and winning on fast breaks like that. It definitely affects their defense, and that was the issue for me watching them after shot after shot after shot after shot, because it seemed like the first half was so bad. Precious Achiuwa's playing? What? Why is he playing? But somehow they turned around in that third quarter where they literally didn't die, and Josh Hart, not a stupid spectacular box score. I take it back. It's good. 14-11 boards, 3 assists and 2 steals. But man, the life on that guy. He is such a Tibbs guy, helping them out. And then OG was monstrous.
That may be OG's best playoff game ever.
Maybe.
It's got to be top 3. I know it's the highest points he's scored. He played a ton of minutes. He had one game where he scored a ton of points in limited minutes.
He had a game winner once
against the that too. But
he had never
overall,
he had never scored over 15 points against the Boston Celtics ever.
Wow.
It's really strange.
Surprising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then this is a great game. 29 points, 10 of 20.
23 minutes.
6 of 11 from deep, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal. Only 1 foul, too. He's obviously out there for defensive purposes on the Jays.
I thought he was going to break his neck on the dunk.
Oh, yeah.
He got that fast break dunk with like 2:30 left in overtime, hung on the rim, and I don't know who's behind him. Tatum, maybe. I think Tatum fouls him. And OG's legs go way up underneath him. He held on to the rim. He's strong. But it was a scary looking moment.
That was the one off of Bridges' steal in the corner that he saved it in front of his own bench, and that got them in transition, and that led to the OG.
Yeah, Bridges looked great too.
And for a game in which he shot badly. Yeah, he was clutch. I mean, all the defensive plays.
Made a lot of defensive plays. Made a 3 and came out with a new celebration. He was like covering his face.
Yeah,
looking around it.
Yeah.
We didn't get a good angle of it.
No,
I didn't think, but I mean, he's been going with like a Manny Machado for a long time. So. Good to see innovation late into the playoffs.
It's almost like he didn't know what he was doing, though. Because you're right, it started eyes, but then it went more mouth. Yeah, it was weird. Maybe we'll see it again.
Yeah, and he got hurt after he blocked Porzingis. Like he was shaken up. 51 minutes, no big deal. I mean, he stays out there while Porzingis. It is a little strange that it was an illness, and we had that run in March where he missed 8 straight games, 2 weeks, where they determined at the end, after a long time, that it was upper respiratory, according to Ali LaForce yesterday. But while it was happening during those 2 weeks, nobody knew.
Nobody really knew.
No. So yeah, that's an interesting one. But has anybody taken the New York Knicks to win this series now after a key win, a big win?
They stole home court just like that. I think the Celtics should be more confident than the Thunder are. They have to think we're not going to shoot 25% from 3 in another game. And we'll probably get Porzingis back.
Yeah.
So I think the Celtics should still be confident.
Yep. And then like you guys brought up a couple times, like the whole there are instances where Tatum should have attacked. He should have. And Brown for that matter too. Like it was like, okay, man. It's the three's not really dropping for you tonight. So put some pressure on the rim. When you had Mitchell Robinson up top and everybody spaced out because they got all 5 shooters out there, so nobody's in the paint. You can't tell me you can't get by Mitchell Robinson? Can't get him on your hip, and obviously he's still going to recover, and he's obviously a lengthy guy and stuff, but I'm sure a couple bump fakes, you're going to get him at the line. So, did you see Derek White's big rebound with 28 seconds to go?
Great board.
In regulation. Huge ass board. It was a rebound highlight. Even Reggie was pointing that out. But then did you see Joe Mazzulla truck into the referee when he was trying to call a timeout? Because White hit the floor and obviously was holding onto the ball. He just nails into the ref. They both sort of not really looking at each other. He's trying to get out there to call it. And he got it. Straight trucked him.
You got to be careful, because if you were to hold up Joe Mazzulla, he'll probably drop down and put you in an armbar.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Any other random notes?
I will just say it's not fun watching the hack of Mitch. They're fouling Mitchell Robinson on purpose at home. in a playoff game, it just sucks the life out of my TV screen because it sucks the life out of the arena, right?
Yes.
It's so the negative effect of that, it ain't all that good, and it sucks the life out of the team as well. You saw Jaylen Brown in the audio assists segment saying, "We got to get the flow going, keep the flow going, keep it flowing," and the flow takes a hit. I mean, it's true. I mean, there's no stat for it. I mean, it did work. The Mitchell Robinson.
I was gonna say, there's a couple of stats for it. Mitchell Robinson went 2 of 8 in the second quarter, and the Celtics built a huge lead. They had their best quarter that quarter, scored 35 points to 20 for the Knicks. Yeah. It was working.
Yeah, it was working.
It was hurting the flow, but it worked 100%.
And then they go to the locker room and they just die. And that was not a good team coming into the third quarter into that arena. So something happened. I mean, it's not fun. It's just not fun.
Any other random notes, TK?
That's it. Who else is going to get fouled, though? I mean, Hackabig is back 100%. Mitchell Robinson, Steven Adams, they used it on the Celtics, or the Warriors did last round. So I'm like, Rudy Gobert's 9 for 18 from the free throw line so far in the playoffs. Draymond Green 4 for 7. They getting hacked?
We'll find out.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll find out possibly tonight.
Just the Jason Tatum, the replay of him scoring a bucket and turning his ankle at the same time when he had Brunson backing up. I mean, that was wild that he stayed totally comfortable after that. Stayed on the floor, but he literally just turned his ankle. All good. Knicks fans in Boston is weird to hear. And
it's crazy during a playoff game, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of them. They're loud. They're vocal.
They're very vocal. Deuce McBride hit that bucket, and you hear a deuce. Yeah, there's no doubt. It is strange to see that. Just want to confirm that OG Anunoby has never scored 15 points against Boston Celtics because that's
crazy.
A wild stat.
Really weird, yeah.
He's scored an average of 8.8 points against the Boston Celtics throughout his career, and he's never played him in the playoffs. So that's game number 1. OG Anunoby versus the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I thought the Raptors played.
But wasn't he injured on there?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a
Wait, who did OG hit the game winner in the quarter?
Celtics.
That was against the Celtics.
Oh, that was the
that was a bub.
Yeah.
That was a bub. Anyways,
maybe it's
still 8.8.
Is it maybe in Boston? Is it a technicality?
No.
Okay.
Shout out to Jay King for knowing that.
All right,
but not coming up with it. Well, the playoffs. Actually, he's got a 20-point playoff game in the. He's got a 20-point playoff game against the Boston Celtics.
So it was
it's a regular season. Anyways, he had 120.
Okay.
Anyways, this is still his best game of the playoffs. There's no doubt about that.
This guy's been amazing so far in the playoffs for the Knicks. So with the Pacers win over the Cavs on Sunday, road teams 3-0 in the conference semifinals so far. And we'll pivot now to the one that starts tonight. The Western Conference's number 6 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves, take on the number 7 Golden State Warriors in the second round here. Game 1 tipping tonight. First time these two franchises have met in the postseason. It's also just the third time that the 6th and 7th seeds have faced off.
That's weird.
Last time it happened, 2023. Not that long ago, when the 7th seeded Lakers knocked off the 6th seeded Warriors in 6 games. So let's break it down as we've been doing. Things to watch for, X Factors, predictions. TK, you can get started here. What's something you're going to keep your eye on? 6-7 Wolves-Warriors.
Is this going to be an Anthony Edwards series? Prior to their series against the Lakers, he told his teammates, be ready. I know they're going to come and double me. Try and make somebody else beat us.
Right.
He was prepared for that. Great playmaking throughout the series. I think he had 6 turnovers in round 1. It was a huge leap for Anthony Edwards.
31 assists to just 6 turnovers in
man.
5 games.
If he does that, that's awesome. The Warriors, you look at who they're going to be rolling out there. They just do not have a great matchup for Anthony Edwards, which kind of is my second question. Who is Steve Kerr going to start in this series? Who is Steve Kerr going to finish with in this series? You know, Curry, Butler, Draymond, they're out there.
Yep.
Their most played lineup is Podziemski and Buddy Hield alongside those. That ain't going to happen against this Timberwolves team. Good luck with that. I think Jimmy is going to have to guard Julius Randle. He's the only guy in their starting lineup that has the bulk for it, which means it's probably Podziemski's, I guess, will be the starter for Golden State. He seems to be the guy, and maybe Buddy's the adjustment guy. Obviously, Buddy will have no chance against Anthony Edwards. Then you look at Ant's stats against Golden State this year, 26, 6, and 6 on 45, 44, 90 shooting splits. I think this could be a big series for Anthony Edwards just because looking at the schemes, it doesn't look like there's somebody who's really going to be able to stick him for Golden State. Gary Payton II, I imagine, is probably
He'll get an
their
opportunity.
best perimeter defender, but that hurts you on the offensive end.
Yeah. And should have the size girth to handle Gary Payton II. It is a problem. I think this entire lineup of the Wolves is a problem for the Warriors, especially size-wise. I mean, they're too small for this Minnesota team. Butler and Draymond Green up against Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert to start. That's a size problem. And we saw what Julius Randle was able to do against the Lakers. He matched up fairly well with LeBron, and him against Jimmy Butler should be a good matchup for him. He should have the ability to see over the entire defense and make good passes, because he seems like he's totally comfortable with that, not just making it a whole Julius Randle show. While Rudy Gobert also came through in round one, had a monstrous offensive game, just one of them, and that's all you need. And defensively, yeah, Curry should be able to burn him. But he did a good job of staying down on Luka, not jumping. And when one of those guys isn't working, well, here comes Naz Reid. So they have incredible depth in terms of their bigs that the Golden State Warriors do not. And yeah, you got to ask, who's Steve Kerr starting? You got to ask who's Steve Kerr bringing off the bench. I mean, Quentin Post will run out there as a big, but not so sure. I'm not so sure that they can handle the depth of those three guys playing extremely well at times against the Lakers. So I think that's a problem. Offensive glass, defensively, they had it all.
There are so many fun, like, just narratives surrounding this series when you consider Ant trying to take down another legend. Is he full Randy Orton here as the legend killer? Can he take Curry now and add him to his list of all these guys he's taken down in playoff series? Jimmy Butler returning to face a franchise he basically tried to burn to the ground. That's fun. And the one everyone he likes to talk about, Draymond Green versus Rudy Gobert.
Oh, yeah.
Round whatever this
yeah.
is. Now, with Draymond, something to keep in mind here. He racked up 4 technical fouls and 2 flagrant fouls. Happy for Tass's team in the instigator draft.
That's my team.
Excuse me, that's your team.
Yep.
He did that against Houston. I bring that up because you get a 1-game suspension if you reach 7 technicals or you accumulate 4 flagrant points in the playoffs. So
that's what happened.
So he's got something to play with.
yeah, it's right. It's right.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear
He
that.
has some room here.
I thought you were going to say like 5 and 3.
No.
Oh, then he's not going to be on his best behavior. I was like, how soon is this going to happen? The game where Draymond Green chokes Rudy Gobert was a minute and 43 seconds into their game. The 10th game of the season. It was the second game, oddly enough, of a back-to-back with Golden State. So I guess 49 minutes in. But if it happens after game 2, their first run-in, I will be shocked.
Yes, he obviously does not like Rudy Gobert. Remember when he was working for TNT and they announced the All-Star game, they announced Rudy Gobert. Not a word. He didn't want to say anything about Rudy Gobert. He didn't want to smile. So yes, this is going to be a controversy. That is no doubt about that. I guess you'd think that he would scale it down, knowing that when he got suspended because of these flagrant fouls, they ended up losing the series against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
He was suspended for
Came back
Game
to bite
5.
him in the ass.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you do have to watch it. That's why I bring it up. Golden State did win the season series against Minnesota. They took 3 or 4 games, but I think all those games were before the deadline. It was like
Garbage.
completely different team before Jimmy and all that.
Doesn't matter.
Now Curry was a monster. Curry did play really well against the Wolves. I think he averaged 29 points, 7.5 assists, like really good true shooting percentage. So that remains the same. It's Steph Curry for crying out loud. But I'm watching, and you sort of slipped it in there, TK. What type of Ant do we get? And if he continues to make, sharp decisions and sharp reads, and maybe the defense sort of does load up on him still, like we saw the Lakers do, can those other guys come through? Because they were instrumental in winning that series. You had the Jaden McDaniels game. He actually had 2 of them. He had a great game 1. He had a great game 3. Naz Reid was huge in game 1, too. Then you had Randall with 25 in game 4. That was awesome to help out the crazy good Ant game. And then you said Rudy Gobert had the game of his life in game 5, 27 and 24. So those guys, I mean, I think they're going to have to do it obviously 3 or 4 times. There's going to have to be the complimentary star guy to go alongside Anthony Edwards. I can't wait to see who it is and whether it changes like it did in that last series, sort of from game to game. X factors. Who you got sort of circled here?
I'm looking at the Wolves bench because it has so much frickin' depth, because those 3 guys coming off the bench can start for so many teams in this league and just keep coming through. The main one, though, besides Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Naz Reid, who's going to be so big, is Donte DiVincenzo. I think he is going to be good against his former team, a guy that he learned how to shoot the ball from in Steph Curry. He became a shooter after being beside Steph Curry. And I don't like season series all that much, but he is pretty good against this team. Like the last 2 games, when he started to become Donte DiVincenzo again, that we saw with the Knicks, it took him a while this season.
Yeah.
But he had 28 in the last game they played, 19 the game before that. So I think the depth is very important in this series, and he is a big part of that. And he's going to get looks. I feel like it's just going to be hard to scramble against this Wolves team because I do think Anthony Edwards is going to find all these guys again. He ain't dying. I think he's got another series in him. So, yeah, Donte will score, no doubt.
Who do you got?
I'm in a role player sense, like the Warriors need random dudes to show up. That's how they won their first series. Gary Payton II helped close out game 1, had a couple of nice layups off of double teams on a Steph Curry pick and roll, went to the hoop and scored. Game 3, they win. Buddy has 16 points. GP2 has 17 points. Game 4, Buddy 15, Quentin Post 13. Game 7, of course, Buddy goes insane. 33 points on 9 threes for the win. So they need to get some dudes having random games. They need a good Jimmy Butler series for the entirety of the series. Curry has to represent for all of us millennials who don't want to see our era completely swept by the wayside. Yeah. For the Timberwolves, it's offensive rebounding. That is going to be a huge bellwether for them. They were second in offensive rebound rate against the Lakers. You look at what the Warriors did. They were last in defensive rebounding rate against the Houston Rockets, who played gigantic dudes. Şengün was big, but Steven Adams is like the greatest of all time offensive rebounders. Gobert's not quite at that level. No. But he ain't no slouch. He had 7 in game 4, 9 in that game 5 dominating victory. So you hear Brian Windhorst say it all the time, no rebounds, no rings. I think that's a Pat Riley saying, how are the Warriors going to be able to rebound against a team very similar to what we saw in Houston? They've got a great defense. We know they're going to play 2 bigs at times. Yeah. We know they're tough on the glass. How does Golden State take that away?
To go back to Buddy Hield, I mean, even as that first round developed, I thought you started to see Steve Kerr sort of opt for Buddy Hield shooting over Moses Moody and his defensive, acumen as the games went on. And it was like, oh, let's go with Buddy. And like the numbers back it up. I mean, in games where Buddy played fewer than 20 minutes in that last battle, they went 1-3. And he shot poorly and he barely shot at all in those games. The ones where he played 29 or more minutes 3 times in that series, he averaged nearly 22 points per game. He shot 17 of 31 from deep. Buddy is the ultimate X factor here, I think, especially when you get into like closing games and just how much he can stretch the floor. And they won all 3 of those games. So for me, I have him for the Warriors X factor.
And he shut down Jalen Green.
I was going to say, and he started to play some defense as well. Yeah, he did.
Well,
he did. Steve Kerr
the
came out.
Timberwolves are better on offense.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, Jalen Green was maybe the worst player in the first round.
Yeah.
Part of that credit goes to Buddy, and part of that goes to Jalen Green, probably more so to Jalen Green. I think Buddy has a tougher ask this time around.
Yes.
Yeah. He just played one great game. I mean, defensively, but he did set the tone, as Steve Kerr said.
Yeah, for sure. He cares. He cares, but that's why Kerr was able to play him. He's like, we are not worried about the perimeter players for the Houston Rockets. We can get away with playing Buddy Hield on their leading scorer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Buddy came through. Not only did he come through in that game, but then he has an offer, and Steve Kerr sticks with him. Why? Because it worked. I mean, to see Buddy ride that roller coaster in one series, you wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect a guy who basically was unplayable last year with the Philadelphia 76ers. So that was a very, very good performance. They will be key. So many guys on that team.
And for the Wolves bench, I mean, like I have a lot of confidence in Naz Reid. I think you're right about Donte DiVincenzo and how well he's looked at times against them in this battles against the Golden State Warriors. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker, we're through 2 postseasons now, and this guy can't shoot. He can't score. He does a lot of other really important things, which is why if he could just hit a shot, it becomes like such a game changer, such an X factor. Mm-hmm. He's shooting 34% from the field and under 28% from 3 in 2 postseason runs now. Again, you got to play the guy because of, obviously his length on the perimeter and his defensive hustle and makes the smart plays, but you got to shoot. And like the Warriors more than anyone, they like, oh yeah, we'll exploit that. Like until we see it, until you can hit a wide open 3, we'll leave you. And we'll have Draymond roaming and we'll clog up everything we can to try and put bodies on Ant and stuff like that. So I think it's important when he gets his minutes that he actually can try and hit some shots here, and at least in regards to them winning. Prediction. Trey, get us started. Where are you going? Wolves, Warriors.
I love all the connections that you mentioned. Draymond versus Gobert, Jimmy Butler versus starters and Minnesota fans. It's going to be quite the reception for him. And then, of course, Steph Curry playing against the team that passed him in the draft 2 times. He's beaten all the other teams that have passed him in the draft. Hasn't yet faced the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll see how it goes. But looking at the whole series, I think Minnesota is so similar to Houston, who gave the Warriors a ton of problems, but Minnesota is more experienced. They're a little bigger. They're a lot better. And they have Anthony Edwards. So I'm going with the Timberwolves in 6 for this one.
Okay. They also have home court advantage, of course, though maybe that doesn't matter in this round, and rest advantage here, too, with obviously the Warriors playing at Game 7.
Yeah, the Warriors just played, and now they got to play every second day for the first 5 games here against a deeper team. There's no doubt the Minnesota Timberwolves are deeper. They are younger, and they can board just like the Rockets did offensively, but then they can also score the ball, which the Rockets had problems with. So I think they've got all that depth. And Anthony Edwards leading a team here in this run. He said before the season that he expects and wants something for this Minnesota City to give them something to cheer for. And so, yeah, I'm riding with Ant and the depth on this team. I'm going 6.
Going 6.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The idea of picking against Curry is disgusting behavior to me. And for that reason and that reason alone, I'll take the Warriors. I'll go Warriors in 7. I'll have them winning on the road in Minnesota. But for all the reasons we talked through in this series, the Wolves are a better team. But the Warriors, no one has more experience than obviously like their 3 main guys. And Curry has played really well against them. And I just can't wait to see, like, I want them to almost like use Ant's like energy and FU aura. Can they like use it against them in a weird way, even through like comments after games and in the media and stuff like that? Like, it's like the guy won't back down from it. I mean, he likes it. He thinks it's such a fun part of the game, especially he's talked already about Draymond and all the trash he talks. So that'll be fun too. But I'll go Warriors in 7. These guys got Wolves in 6. Let's hear from you in the stream team. Who wins? How many games? X factors, all that good stuff. Okay, let's pivot to one of the other games tonight. I actually didn't get to talk about Game 1 because we were gone this weekend, but 3 of Cleveland's players, their top players, are questionable for Game 2 against the Pacers tonight. Coach Kenny Atkinson expressed real concern over whether Darius Garland with a toe sprain, DeAndre Hunter with a dislocated thumb, and Evan Mobley with an ankle injury, whether they'll even play tonight in Game 2 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series. So that's huge, something to watch for as the day progresses here, as we get closer to tip time. But your thoughts on Game 1, how the Pacers look so damn impressive in that, and concerned at all about Cleveland here?
Well, just as a team, yeah. You have to be concerned about this team that was unable to guard everybody on the perimeter for Indiana. I thought Andrew Nembhard was just so key in this game. He just came through. And while they're looking at Halliburton and making sure that he can't be the conductor getting in there and doing things, Andrew Nembhard was just as important, if not more important in this game. But everybody coming through, and I say on the offensive end is where the Indiana Pacers did it, but defensively they're so good too. I think Halliburton doesn't get enough credit for how great he is at helping when needed. Yeah, he waits for the fourth quarter at times, but he's good enough to do that. And so, yes, I think with the injuries, are they real, or are they just on the list here for, it's a playoff
He's
game?
Banged up.
We'll just throw it out there. But obviously Darius Garland didn't play in Game 1, so that is something to worry about.
That's 3 straight games he's missed?
Yeah, he missed
4,
at least 2, maybe 3 of Orlando's series.
Yeah.
I thought he missed the last 2. Nonetheless, you could tell they were missing him. They couldn't shoot. They got outshot 19-9. I do think Mobley is hurt as well. He looked like he was laboring. He's got to chase Pascal Siakam around on a team that already runs fast breaks and stuff. I think Kenny Atkinson, Coach of the Year, Kenny Atkinson, it's official. He said these guys are all going to be doubtful, but they'll be listed as questionable.
Yeah.
Semantics. That's what Kenny said.
Yeah.
I bet
he said it's the same thing to him.
Yeah, exactly. They might play. I kind of agree with you.
So
It's like you're in, you're out, or maybe you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
Who knows what the levels to it are? But if you're missing 3 or your top 6, that's bad against a team that already beat you in Game 1 on the road. The Pacers get the shots they want no matter what. They had no answer for Halliburton. That was my big concern for Cleveland, was not having somebody who could stay in front of them. 22 points, 13 assists, 0 turnovers for him. Andrew Nembhard is the career leader in 3-point percentage in the playoffs right now, shooting 51% for his career. An incredible riser. Look, if you are a Cavs fan, you have to be thinking, They're not going to shoot as well as they did in game one. We're not going to shoot as poorly as we did in game one. I think it's more so true from the Cleveland side. I think they'll shoot better, but I don't know what they do defensively against the Pacers because the Pacers are just a great system. They're so unselfish. They don't care who's the leading scorer. They don't care who takes the most shots. They just care that the good shot is taken.
Yeah, the 6 guys for the Pacers scored in double figures in game one. They had another 30 assists. There have been 8 instances in this year's playoffs where teams have finished with 30 or more assists, and the Pacers have been the team to do it 4 times. So half of them. I mean, this is their thing, their MO, their offense. Can they slow it? Can Cleveland slow it? Andrew Nembhard, too. I know Mitchell got his points in the end, his game 1 points, so I guess the streak continues. Took a lot of shots. 30 shots to get 33 points. And Nembhard, when you dive into the numbers, he shot 1 of 10, Donovan Mitchell did, against Andrew Nembhard. So not only did Nembhard bring it offensively, he did shut down their star player when he was matched on him. So I assume those numbers will be higher for Mitchell in game 2, just percentage-wise, but can they slow them down? And Hunter Mobley got injured on consecutive plays there in the fourth quarter, and they continue to play, but they looked hobbled to some extent. Kenny Atkinson was not happy about the Hunter fall and thought that was a little reckless. He might be getting a fine today too for some of his comments, but we'll see. Game 2 tonight. But you like a bounce back from Cleveland, or is this going to be what Indiana did for the last series? Took first 2, right?
I would hope that Hunter bounces back. You mentioned him. I thought he could have been better defensively, getting out to the perimeter. So yes, I expect a bounce back for this entire roster.
It could have been the case of whoa, this is an eye-opening, jarring switch of what we just did in the first round and who we played to now playing this Indiana team. Mm-hmm. That's quite a change from the Miami Heat to the Indiana Pacers. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're a little more ready for it and know what they're going to be doing here. All right, we'll see tonight. Game 2 of that series. Game 1 of Wolves-Warriors. Let's call it here so we can go to sleep. We had some fun in Montreal, and again, congrats to Matt and Jill, but we're back here tomorrow morning. We'll see you in the Classic Factory. Hopefully our voices will be a little stronger. I feel like the tea is helping, the honey.
I got throat coat.
Oh, God,
my tea's called throat coat. I laugh every time.
Oh, it's legit called that?
Yeah.
It sounds like something just Trey Kerby called it.
No, but it does. It really coats it up.
Good.
Yeah, I think it was the pop punk suite that got me.
It was.
Man, it went from Blink 182 to Sum 41 to Fall Out Boy. And by the 18th time I was yelling, "Number 1 with the bullet!" I didn't have any bullets left to fire, man.
Eric the Tutor. What a DJ name. Guy brought it, though. 100%.
It was great.
Class was in session, for sure. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the games tonight. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, it's always fun to go back to those one-hit wonders. Just once, though, I mean, we heard a lot of one-hit wonders, but you don't want to hear it every day.
Did you have a favorite song you heard?
Oh, so many.
Favorite.
Remember, you were almost slapping the dance. No, you couldn't slap the dance floor because it was all brick.
Cobblestone?
Yeah,
It was all brick.
It was bricky.
Break your hand.
Yeah, I was worried about that for sure.
A little Quebecois flavor that I really liked was when Celine Dion's "It's All Coming Back to Me Now" played. Full song.
Full song.
To the quiet outro as well.
It's like an anthem.
Yeah, it was great. Touching like this, holding like that. Oh, beautiful stuff.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Embrace the day, people.